I will ask all the speakers to come on the stage, please. And from the public, here the audience, I'm curious to know if there are questions maybe on these last presentations. Yes, if you have a microphone, there is a gentleman here, okay, who wants to ask a question. I'm really surprised to the interesting things I have seen in terms of checking with Friedrich, and after about interior design and the ability, we need to have better libraries, better management of the data inside the company. And about the tool, maybe I'm more surprised about the artificial intelligence and the use they are trying to do with it. I want just to highlight one thing, because I've seen that in your presentation, Malik. You were speaking about 2D through 3D automation, because we, as Aka Software, we bought a startup the last year, and they are developing this kind of tools. So it's called Plan AI, is how to plan from 2D to 3D, and they are using as well the same kind of technologies that I'm really curious, and maybe we have question for you directly. So we have a microphone for this gentleman, please. Yeah, I will come.
Hi, thank you very much, first of all. Quick question for Christian on the verified software. I would be interested to know the size limitations and the format of models that can be analyzed using the web viewer.
Hello?
Yeah,
okay, I need to press a button.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay. Currently, we support Revit, IFC, and DWG, but the 3D parts of it. Size limitations, currently you can load up to 2 to 3 gigabytes in the original format. We convert it to be like more digestible through the web, so it actually becomes much smaller to download and see in your browser.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, it's about the IFC files. You say one thing is that we can protect our files for any our roommate cannot install our families. Is there any way that we can protect our files inside our Revit file? Because from using Dynamo or just directly getting access to the families, you can save us and you can send. Can we block that families?
Well, there is no straightforward way to do it, and unless you build an add-ins which blocks, but it's basically blocks everything else. I mean, yes, you can have a huge building with a lot of furniture, a lot of families, and someone can extract them all. But again, this is a small thing. I mean, they can stall an entire project when they leave, but you can't just block everything. So it's just a matter of managing the risk, mitigating the risks. Like us, you know, we had 3,000 families in 5 Revit files, and they can just copy and paste someone else, and now they can't do that anymore. So this is mitigating risks. So you can't block everything. Yeah. And even you have to trust a little, not too much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Emrullah Yildiz. I am from Romania, working at Arcadis as a computational design specialist. I will have a question for Gökhan. Thank you very much for bringing this topic to this event. It is really popular, one of the popular events. And I was very curious about the term that you use, hunger of AI. I think it is very accurate, and I also experienced that the certainty of that AI bringing into your environment is sometimes dangerous, and using it maybe can bring lots of errors or mistakes as well. In your presentation, there were time limits and other stuff, but I'd like to discuss this more in this question with you. What do you think about the AI in the BIM? And with this, I mean the danger of the possibilities of its danger while using in large models, and the certainty that it brings to you. There's a possibility that maybe you think you are using the AI, but you are at the mercy of the AI sometimes as well, and how we can control this. Like, what would be your vision on this one? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is it working?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, okay. So, to be very 100% honest, it is not the scope of the question is way wider than I can answer, but I can quote from the speculations already in the literature. So many people enthusiastic about AI believes that there will be always a need for a person to check the job after AI do it for you. I've seen one presentation, for example, today entirely about quality check and how it is going to be needed once the AI models become more powerful, and how this quality check how that topic of quality check is going to be more and more important over the next years.
Hello. My name is Dainus. I'm from Lithuania, and I'm an owner of IT company. We develop software for engineering companies. So my thought is that we shouldn't give models to AI, because robots will know where to find us when they know where we will give models of real buildings. But that's a joke. I wanted to because there are two very different views on about the data and how about the sharing of data, and because you are both representatives of architectural companies. So on one side we have the opinion that we need to save our families, not share them, and because I understand, because that's your work, your input into your own business, and on the other side we have opinion that we need to have some kind of open source public libraries of real data that needs to be used to improve AI models. So and I want to create a discussion on how can we achieve this middle point where both truths are true and both opinions are true, and we can achieve the most out of BIM community, and have real quality data for AI training, but also not losing our intellectual property.
This is, from my point of view, is quite simple, because we also love open source. Most of the things I've developed, they come from open source, and the main issue is, I agree with him. We should give models, but the problem is we give models, and someone else we're gonna train them with the AI, and they're gonna sell us back. That doesn't work. If we give something for free, we need something for free. But that doesn't happen. So everywhere else, like OpenAI and whoever trained the model based on the data they found over internet, they sell us back. So we basically give everything for free. Or sometimes we pay for give them data, which this is the main issue for me.
If I can just take the ball on the fly on this discussion, I think that there are different domains of as well intellectual property, because when you have your data with OpenBIM, and I know that Emiliano is using IFC.js, I think. He has tools to manage open formats. And after this, you have to control the property of your data, of your versioning, so that people cannot destroy them, and you have the property maybe on some kind of information. But there are different domains. You have to be free to manage your open data, and you will know that in the future you can access this information, and you can do this thanks to IFC data schema, to make an example. And after, there is the problem to control your common data environment. So probably you have permissions, you have authorizations in your organization to have the proper control of the intellectual property as well, of some kind of models, libraries, okay? And how to share the information with other people. Sorry, it was just to differentiate a different kind of control that's in your governance you have to ensure.
Maybe this is not directly relevant to us. We don't analyze BIM models, but we do analyze through AI schedules and cost data. But we've faced the same challenge when talking to clients since 2017. And if you want to train your AI models, and you want to get basically produce business-specific results, we've made the decision to only use the client data to train our model, and that caused some challenges because there was kind of resistance from especially large contractors who think if they're giving you their data, they're giving away their competitive advantage. But we find it always, more better and more realistic to only train the data on one client, train our models on one client data rather than looking at global models that will work for different types of models or whatever.
Thank you, Sam, for your, because it's a question from my, because I'm not so expert in artificial intelligence. When you train your algorithm, the training set, is it a property of your client, of your customer?
Yes, they belong to the client. We don't own it. And I think, we've been in this business since 2017, and if there is one thing that let us, keep going, is this specific feature, because the client will keep ownership on their data. So we invested more on R&D on our algorithms so they can work only with one client data, and then they own the data and we can implement our solution on-prem or on private cloud. So the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just find it interesting that it looked like we had different opinions with Emiliano, but to be honest, I totally agree with him, because when I say, like, you got this correctly, yes, I would like to encourage people to share their model, but not to someone else's hands. I was actually thinking about, like, if I wasn't out of time, I was actually thinking to offer, like, maybe there should be models uploaded, but those models should not belong to anyone. And how this can happen, just as an example, we have a decentralized autonomous organization here. Even this organization is decentralized. So maybe, just an idea, a decentralized organization can own that data, and it can open to the researchers or the architects without letting it to turn into an expensive product.
Thank you for your...
Can I add something, or a question to you too? When you say you use the data of one client just to train the model of the client, and the client owns the data, but once you train the model, would you use the model with transfer learning to someone else or not?
That was our ambition back in 2017, but since our first big client was a government department, so they were, fully against this. So no, we don't transfer learning or knowledge across clients. We just train our models based on one client data, and we deliver our insights and predictions based on their own experience.
Thank you. Thank you, Assam. Do you have maybe other question?
Can I
Please
ask another question? So you think, and what I hear is that you see the future without proprietary formats, and the future is in open formats?
Just because it's one of the important perspective of our company, Aka Software. We are the experts processing the open BIM format. So what does it mean? That we have a strong association in the world, which is Building Smart International, who is pushing forward the IFC, which is this format is born to exchange information, but nowadays we can as well modify information on these open dataset formats. So what it means is that as you can open a TXT file or a PDF file, you can process as well an IFC information. We don't care on our points, on our perspective, in your architectural studio if you're using competitors' authoring systems like Revit, like ArchiCAD or other formats. But probably public institutions, big organization, the European community is pushing in the direction to have good information in open formats, in IFC formats, that will be available for the next generation, for the cities, for the territory, for, So for us, it's important to push forward this productivity, user-friendly services. I know that Frederick is using as well IDS. Is a module of ours, of our ASBIM kind of modules. So the open format in this case is a guarantee for a customer who want to access this information in the future. After this, we know that there are big problems for the protection of data, which is to keep safe for the citizens. We know that there is a very strong question about intellectual properties for companies that invest money in their ability as interior designs and developing specific data. So this is another part of the game. So when you have the tools to manage, to process the information, then you will decide as well how you will keep some information safe or some information protected. But just about the artificial intelligence, what is interesting is that some kind of organization probably want to have an added value using artificial intelligence, but they have now the data sets that are used. I think for Assam is a question of scheduling, of project management, things like this. So it's it's quite interesting. So I don't know our colleagues here maybe what they think about the open BIM formats and the IFC format generally. I'm quite interested as well to have their perspective.
So we don't focus on BIM, we focus on schedule and cost, but I'm going to answer your question from this perspective. So obviously clients we work with, they have different formats. So they work, for example, if we talk about schedules, they will have Primavera P6 or Microsoft Project or so different tools. So what we did is, and then these schedules, they follow different structures, so different work breakdown structures, and there is no standardization, there is no naming convention within the activities, etc. So what we did to tackle this are two things. One, we built APIs that connect basically to most major scheduling and cost software in the market. So it could work with any format, and then it will analyze these and bring them to a centralized format within our data warehouse. And then the beauty of our AI is it could analyze projects that follow different structures and with different activity naming conventions. So we actually solve this problem through AI rather than saying that our AI will expect the same format and structure across all your data. So we solve this problem through AI. So we have one AI module that will get data ready for the AI training step, if that makes sense.
Answering your question, like about the future, so it is really impossible to predict what's going to happen in the future in terms of open formats. But my very romantic wish is to see everyone using things interoperable.
It's a good question. One problem is we need to have open formats, right? Because for archiving things, I mean, you know, for example, in Italy, you have to have an archive. And after like 10 years, everything else should be there, like for legal reason. And the only way to archive models, it's IFC, because you can't archive Revit models. Because if you're archiving Revit models made by Revit 2018, and it will be now 2040, will it open again? Probably not. So that is an important thing. The main issue, like the romantic, it should be all interoperability. The problem is the IFC file, it's basically a text file, which means writing, like thinking on writing on a text file, traversing the entire file. It's not a database. The Revit files on proprietary format, their database, the access is faster. And that's the main issue. I mean, it's a good because it's open and it's a text file, but the downside, and if you want to read the last line, you have to read the entire line. And that's the main technical issue.
Yeah, I think it's really the question, what does open BIM mean? And in a way, or what is actually what is the data? Is this a model which we create and which we want to like safeguard because that is what we actually produce and create and sell? Is it the models, or maybe for a consultant or a BIM manager, it may be just the requirements or the tables they would expect. For others, it may be other content. For software developers, it is actually the code of the software you want to protect, and you want to keep it actually behind some endpoint, some address on the internet, in the cloud. But between these endpoints, you need to communicate in one language, in the best case, or maybe in one common language, so it's easy to implement connections, and behind, like in its gate environment, to also talk to the proprietary solutions, each their own like door where you can knock on and talk to them. So in a way, I think OpenBIM is very important for providing this kind of lingua franca for all the different things which we produce in the BIM community, which can be the models, but it can, like there's different things we make.
Thank you, Frederick, for your, because in terms as well of the different phase we can go through in a construction, a life of an asset, IFC is as well the only way we have to go through from the design models sometimes to the as-built models, to the facility model, and as well on the destruction, it is the simple way to have reusable information on the assets. So I share as well this perspective.
This is something we should ask Autodesk and all the others, because if they facilitate the import and export of these files, that would be all the best. For us, working with someone else using ArchiCAD, it's a nightmare, and it's really a nightmare. I mean, even if we model correctly and they model correctly, the import and export is still a nightmare. So, I mean, you can coordinate easily because you have Solibri, you have everything else that reads correctly, but when it's authoring, that's really difficult. So that's a huge problem.
Our point of view as Aka Software we are a software developer, and we are deeply involved with the IFC. I have to be clear that we have main contractors and companies that are agnostic in terms of the authoring tool you are using. So they ask the proper IFC uploaded on the common data environments, and they use the IDS typically to check that all the property. We have seen Frederick using IDS, so we have on our platform a system to check the validity, the compliance of the files, and so they can go through maybe the contract, the subcontract analysis and things like that. So it is starting working for the buildings and for infrastructures too. So we are on this process.
No, it's okay. I was gonna make a joke. That's all. I was gonna say maybe we can make an AI model who is gonna read the ArchiCAD file and rebuild it as Revit.
I don't know if there are other questions. Maybe I think. Okay. Thank you.
I have just a contribution about the last topic regarding the model exchange. As far as I know, Autodesk is improving a project called Data Exchange regarding this one to increase the interoperability between their softwares. And another thing that I heard about them, that they are making Dynamo as a central software for all Autodesk tools. They are planning to, they have this vision for future.
Do you know how they do the data exchange?
Not the details,
Through
but
the
I
cloud.
know. Yeah.
See, what does that mean? That all your data go through the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay, but I have a good news about this. If you want to test it, we are working on a service that is online, and you have an editor. So you can modify your IFC file directly online and update and share your models online. If you want, you can do it as well on the standalone application. It's true, now we are not with an authoring tool, because we have as well this kind of software available, but we are as well in the process pushing forward the ability to modify an IFC file. So it makes easier for you as well to update information. You know, on our point of view, when you have a renewal, a new building, you will use an authoring tool. But in the future, when you have an asset and you just move some lights or some assets, you will do just a quick modification and update an IFC file. So you have the continuity as well in terms of updating this information. Other question, maybe? I don't know if our speakers want to add something, maybe on, it's okay. Okay, thank you to everybody, to our speakers, to the people here, and okay, have a nice evening.